Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Georgiemon and I'm your friendly neighborhood anime and manga fan. I love all things anime and all things manga, and I'm here today to talk about the first 5 episodes of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. So, what did I think about the first 5 episodes of the new season? In all honesty, if I had one word to say, it would be that they were phenomenal. I think that this show so far has been consistently getting better and better, and I think that it has surpassed everything that's come before it. Now, I know what people might be saying that, oh, it's just recency bias. Like, no, I think that generally speaking, I think not only was this the best arc, but I think that MAPPA also won up their game with the animation, because the animation in this show was fantastic. The fight scenes, just the scenery, the backgrounds. I think that this show just elevated itself to another level, which for a lot of people, me personally, I thought it was impossible, because I thought the first season did an incredible job, with the animation, but the MAPPA once again proving us why they're one of the best studios in the game right now. Now, before I go any farther, I just wanted to give you guys a quick reminder to make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you guys can be up to date with all my Jujutsu Kaisen as well as all my anime and manga content that I'll be providing in this channel. It really helps us out a lot, and I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. So if you guys could, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get and talk about these first 5 episodes. So the first episode, I thought it was a cute, nice little callback episode. I thought it was a nice little adventure, just seeing how all these characters that, they're all grown up in the present time, how they used to be back in teenagers. And I thought it was cute. You saw Orihime and Meimei, they were solving a case. You got to see Meimei and just how good of a sorcerer she is, as well as Orihime back when she was pretty much like a rookie. And you see that, back then she was very fun, because now as an adult she's way more serious and whatnot. And you also see where the rivalry with her and Gojo starts, because you know how they don't really click with each other that well at all in the present time. So you get to see even back then they were at each other's necks, and it was funny. And you also get to see Shoko, Geto, and Gojo's dynamic, just the 3-man group, and it was just cool. It was a nice little episode, and it just, like I said, it was great. Now, the best part of that first episode, I think we can all agree, was definitely Meimei. Because MAPPA and Gege, they knew what they were doing when they designed this. Okay, they knew damn well what they were doing, because oh my goodness, the Meimei, that body crazy. All right, Meimei once again proving herself why she's in the top 3. She's in the holy trinity of the big titty god girls, and that's Fubuki, Makima, and herself. She once again proves why she's part of that trio, because come on, let's be honest, just look at that picture. The body on that girl is crazy. That's all I'll say. But continue with the serious note. When we get to episode 2, and episode 2, we see that pretty much what the main story is going to be about, what the main plot of this arc is going to be, and it's pretty much Gojo and Geto, they gotta take care of this chick, and her name is Riko. And you see that they don't want to take care of this at all. They're like, why we gotta take care of her? And we find out as the audience that she's gonna be the vessel for Tengen, this one guy, this mystical creature that it's has been evolving throughout time, and it's the one that keeps all the barriers up in Japan and why not. And it's a very key moment. It's the main plot of the story. And we know that this creature is going to become eventually a 5th dimensional being that will, stop caring about, humans and whatnot. So they're trying to prevent that by getting a new vessel and resetting the progress and whatnot. So this chick, Riko, she's going to be the vessel. And Gojo and Geto, they're going to be her bodyguards for the time being. And while Gojo and Geto are protecting her, we see that this religious group out of nowhere, they want to eliminate her, because they see her as a threat, because they want Tengen to evolve. They don't want it to, reset the process. They're like these religious cult, and they want to eliminate her. And we see that throughout it all, Gojo and Geto, they just protect her, and Gojo just wants completely bodies anybody that gets in their way. Gojo proves why he's the strongest. It's Gojo, he is that dude, and he proves once again that he is that dude. And while Gojo's having a fun time, just completely annihilating everybody, just protecting Riko and just chilling with Geto and just having a blast overall, we see that he stops having that, because a monster by the name of Toji shows up, and this dude is the definition of built different. Toji, I had heard about him, and I knew that I was in for something the second he shows up, because people have been hyping him up, and I'll be the first to say that he definitely lived up to the hype, because Toji, this dude is a unit. This dude is a one-man army, and he's so freaking cool. This guy is epic. And what happens is that so they're about to turn in Riko, so that she can become the vessel and why not. They're at the gate, and out of nowhere you just see Gojo get stabbed. And after Gojo gets stabbed, he's just shocked, what is this? He never thought somebody could actually harm him. He thought himself as a a being above everybody else. And he gets humbled down after meeting Toji, let me tell you that. Because Toji tells him, listen, those bounties that were put out on her, I'm the one that did that, because I wanted to make it so you had been exercising your, your eyes and making yourself just tired in general, so I can take an advantage and just take you at your weakest. I know they're all fodder, but listen, at least you use your energy for them for a bit, so now I can walk in here and completely fresh while you're, exhausted somewhat. And it shows because Gojo, he wasn't at his best. Let's just say that. Let's be 100% honest. But Toji just completely annihilates him. In this epic battle, they have a fight, and it's great. Gojo is just like surprised. He shook. Like, he actually got harmed, and he's trying to throw these attacks at Toji, and Toji just dodges them. And Toji, like, this dude just humiliates Gojo, to put it in mildly. Because what happens is, eventually, Gojo is like, he thinks he's about to defeat Toji, and then Toji just completely speed blitzes him and stabs him in the neck and just completely annihilates Gojo. Like, he makes a fool of Gojo. And Gojo's surprised because he's like, what? But my barrier. And we find out that Toji has one of the strongest cursed weapons there is in the world. And what this weapon does is it actually cancels all like curse energy. So any technique that Gojo, anything that a sorcerer would use, or any curse energy or anything like that, it gets canceled out. So this is a OP weapon, and it shows because it actually harmed Gojo, and Toji just demolishes Gojo, and it's crazy. You're like, whoa. And this is a moment that Gojo gets very humble on going forward in the story. Now, after Gojo gets defeated, we see that, we cut back to Geto and Rico, and they're talking, and they're like, hey, like, we're pretty much, Geto just tells Rico, like, hey, you're fine. Like, you're not going to become a vessel. We're actually going to free you, and you get to live with us. Like you're going to be free. Don't worry about it. And Rico's like very happy because she's starting to have like second guessing, like, what do I want to do this in my life? And, Geto's just like, no, we already agreed that me and Gojo were going to break you out and we were going to save you. And she's like, okay, like, and there, like, you see Geto about to grab her hand, like, come on, join us. And then she gets shot in the head, and we see that Toji just kills her, and he's like, okay, I get my money now. And the way they did it in the anime was phenomenal, because they had like this sad music playing, and it was like, oh, uplifting, and then she gets shot in the head, and you're like, man, you guys got me. But what happens after that is that Geto fights Toji, and Geto's pissed off, and Toji just makes easy work of Geto, and it's incredible, because you're like, this dude just single-handedly defeated two of the strongest characters in the verse, like nothing. And we find out that Toji, the guy that's been beating them, yes, he has no curse energy at all. Like, this dude is a freak. Like, this dude is Maki on steroids. Like, this guy is insane. Like I said, this guy's insane. I can't believe it. And we see that he just completely, mops the floor with Geto. And what we see after he defeats Geto is like, he's like, all right, I'll let you live, because if I kill you, I think that all the curses you've digested will come out. So I don't want to risk that, because maybe you have thousands of them. I don't want to mess with that. So he's like, I'm out of here. And he leaves, he cashes in his check, and he's like, okay, I did my money, got my dues. This is awesome. I'm about to retire. And while he's leaving, he sees like some time passes, and then he's like, okay, catches, shows the corpse to the person or whatever that he's gonna get the money from, and then he leaves. And while he's walking, he just sees Gojo there, like, with the scariest face ever, and he's like, yo, long time. And Toji's just like shook. He's like, what is this? And what Gojo explains is like, listen, when you attack me, I use all my energy to heal. So I use all my reverse, curse techniques to just, focus on healing. And thanks to you, I actually awoken something within me. And it shows, because Gojo is just like, he's high on power right now. Like, this dude he starts laughing. He's like, yeah, like, I'm a different Gojo than you fought last time. And it shows, because Gojo looks like he's high off energy. Like, he's high off in himself. And what happens is Toji just goes for the kill. He's like, okay, I'm gonna fight you. And he goes for the kill, and Gojo just dodges him like nothing. And you just see Gojo in his head, like, kind of like he's having nirvana. Like, this dude is just, having euphoria. He's just enjoying like life. He's just in a different dimension, if you could say, when it comes to mentally. And the reason is because after this event where he gets, demolished by Toji, he healed himself. And the reason he was able to heal is because Toji actually used a different knife. He didn't use the curse knife. And even Gojo says, like, you should have just cut on my head. Like, that would have been easy, but no, thanks to you, I survived. And, he just tells, like, he just lets him know, like, Toji, like, hey, I am a being above all of y'all. Like, I am the enlightened one. Like, pretty much using a Buddha quote. And it's like, whoa, like, Gojo has learned what his place in the world is. He sees himself as the savior, as somebody above everybody else. And like I said, like, he sees through heaven and earth. He is the enlightened one. He is the Buddha, quote unquote. And he knows what his new role in the world has to be. And he proceeds to defeat Toji with ease. And Toji's last words is like, he's thinking about life, and Gojo's like, any last words, and Toji's just like, nah. But then he thinks about Megumi, and he's like, hey, in a year from now, my son will be sold. Just thought you should know that. That's it. And Toji proceeds to die, and Toji says like, man, I never took a job for free, but maybe I should have walked away. And I like to think that Toji could have ran away, but it was his own ambition. Like, I wanted to destroy the Jujutsu world and whatnot. That it was his downfall at the end of the day, because he fought Gojo in, it was a losing fight. The shock value and everything, the everything that he planned, it didn't work out the first time, and now it was just a head-on like collision. No, it was not gonna work. And yeah, Toji dies like a boss. Like, this dude went out like a legend. And what we see after that is, in the finale of the show, is that we see pretty much Geto is still, he's still shocked and, overall devastated about Riko's death. And you see there's a 1 year time skip, and we see that throughout it all, he still, thinks about Riko dying, and he starts questioning like why he should be even a Jujutsu sorcerer, period. Throughout it all, you see like this conflict inside of Geto's mind, like, what am I doing? And eventually he bumps into the character of Yuki, and Yuki was actually the girl that Toda looks up to, that we saw in like a little glimpse of in season 1. And we see that she actually just tells Geto like, listen, I know you might be thinking like, well, what's the point of being a sorcerer and why not, but you're not committing anything to it. Like, you're still a good guy in my book, at least. And what we see is that she eventually tells Geto like, hey, there's only 2 ways that we can make it so curses can be completely gone. And what the girl Yuki tells Geto is like, listen, there's 2 outcomes. Either we can eliminate all the curse energy in the world, or secondly, we can make it so every person in the world can become like a sorcerer. And if that happens, all curses will be deleted. And Geto starts thinking about another reason, is like, maybe what if we kill all the humans? And that's where you start seeing the seeds being planted about what he starts thinking about going forward in the story. And what ends up happening is we see that eventually Nanami's partner dies, and that's the event where Geto starts really questioning the establishment of the Jujutsu. And he goes and does this mission. He sees that the mission that he's been sent to is to get rid of these curses, which he does in his hometown, I believe. And you see that just 2 girls that are prisoned, and the people, the villagers, they think that they're the reason why all these curses have been happening. And he's like, no, they're not. It's not them. And they're pretty much kept prisoners, like these 2 little girls. And that's the breaking point for Geto. And Geto just completely loses his mind and just demolishes the town and burns them to like all, and like he just kills them. Which in return, the Jujutsu Academy is like, they have to kill him now. They have a death sentence on him. And then we cut to pretty much Gojo and Geto. They have their breakup, and because Gojo confronts Geto, and pretty much Gojo just tells him like, I have to stop you, right? And Geto's like, you won't. And that's their last time they talk, and they go their separate ways. And Gojo couldn't bring himself to kill his best friend, obviously. And what happens after that is that we see where they end up being, which is Gojo takes on Megumi as his pretty much apprentice, and Geto becomes the monster that he is, the one that hates the races to humans kind of character. And that's how the story ends up to now. And I just completely was mind blown by this entire arc, because I think that the writing in this arc by itself was exceptional, and I think that, like I said, is the strongest part of the show up to now. And after this we get the Shibuya incident, and that's an arc that I know people have been hyping up, and they say it's the best arc of Jujutsu Kaisen, and they say that one's like one of the greatest arcs of all time. So if this arc, I think, is phenomenal. I can't wait to even see what the Shibuya has in store for us. But with all that being said, what did you guys think about the first 5 episodes of Jujutsu Kaisen? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys think it was alright? What do you guys thought? Let me know in the comment section down below. Also, thank you so much for sticking all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Jujutsu Kaisen, as well as more anime and manga content in the near future. But yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.